Hello, this is Nikki, your resident career and life coach. I just wrapped up a day of sessions with clients, and I have to say, I love and appreciate my clients. Shout out to them, how they show up so authentically. And here's what we're talking about in this season. We're talking about their goals, of course, but we're talking about this as planting season. Now, many people feel like January has passed and my opportunity to create some goals and an action plan around those goals has already passed, right? Because January is the time that a lot of people do that. And I will tell you that is absolutely not true. Actually, this is what I call planting season. Planting season is a time for you to identify and get real clear on what your goals are. Your authentic goals, not the things that other people want for you, but the things that you want for yourself. This is the time to identify that and to be able to start investing and planting those seeds so that you can get a good harvest. And by the end of the year, start seeing real traction and success in some of your life goals and things that you want to achieve. It might be something that you want professionally in your career. It might be something you want in terms of family and relationship. It might be health goals that you want to improve your health, whatever it is, right? Those are your goals. And it's time to start really embracing those. And if you've already started, kudos to you. But we want to lock in to be able to achieve these goals and to do it without feeling the fatigue and the stress of burnout. So here is what we're talking about. This is what we're talking about. So for planning season, I have 3 G's to approach planning season. 1, start with good seed. If you start with a good seed and a goal that is really special and authentic, it means a lot to you. If you start with that seed, you're going to have good seed, right? You're going to have a good goal that you really care about and you really want to build some routine around. You want to build some successes around those things. I want you to own that good seed. That is the first step in accomplishing anything worth having. You got to really own it and be all in this planning season. So the first G is start with good seed. The second G is good soil. You got to be in the right environments to help cultivate and grow yourself. When you know what you want to accomplish, you have to align appropriately. Be with the people, be in the environments that are going to help you evolve, that are going to nurture the things within you that are necessary for you to reach these goals. It means being around the right people, maybe in the right department, or what you choose to listen to, be it on social media, television program. You want all these things to be in alignment because they impact your soil. If you are listening to things that are counterproductive to the things you really want in life, don't be surprised when you start taking steps backwards. Why? Because they're working against your good seed. Now, in any environment, you're going to have some weeds. You're going to have some toxic people, and that's okay, right? Because we're not going to focus on them. What you're going to focus on is your good seed, your goal, you, and your growth. So I'm not going to tell you that your fertile soil is going to be perfect, but it has to give you the best optimized way to accomplish that. And again, some people are working in environments where they are really not productive and supportive. Well, sometimes for financial situations, you need to be there just for this season, but it's about how you spend your time and the resources that you're connected to. Get curious about that environment and where the resources are, but also you always have your personal time that you commit to. So in your personal time, don't spend that time complaining about the job you have. Spend your time finding out and getting curious about the areas in which you like to be in and the people who are already in that environment, your tribe. Get curious about your tribe and finding them. So this is what it means to be in good soil. And last but not least, good pacing. We have such authentic goals that we're trying to accomplish, and they mean a lot to us no matter what your particular goal is. It means a lot to us. And sometimes we get these peaks and valleys where we're so enthusiastic and we're so excited and we can just see ourselves living life with that goal already under our belt. And then there's other times where Now we're down in the dumps and we just feeling unmotivated. So we have these extreme highs and these extreme lows. And the way to combat that, not to mention the extreme fatigue that goes along with that and the burnout that comes along with that, instead of those extremes, now let's readjust our pace, right? So now we're going to look at 1% pace instead of this all or nothing pace. I'm going to go 100 miles an hour towards my goal, and then the next week, 0. I'm not doing anything. I want you to consider changing your pace, entertain me for a second, to 1% instead of this 100% every day. Right? And the 1% doesn't mean that you're not giving all of you. The 1% is what you're committing to consistently. It is the consistent steadiness that is necessary that allows you not to get too high nor too low. That way, you manage your anxiety and your stress levels. You decrease this anxiety we feel about disappointment, those moments where we feel like we're not having any traction. The way we manage all of those feelings when it's related to our goals is by approaching it in a 1% consistent method, because consistency is the key, right? Even for our goals. Because if you're growing 1% daily, 7 days a week, no days off, 1% every day over 30 days, you've experienced 30% in growth in who you are, what you're trying to accomplish. You are also nurturing your confidence, your stability, you're owning what you really want, and you will start to see yourself really starting to embody the thing that you feel that you really want to have. And truth be told, that is really how success is achieved. It's never overnight. You hear this phrase, overnight success. There is no such thing as overnight success. It is consistency at a 1% pace. Now, how do you do that? You can get out a pencil and paper and start tracking and committing to your 1% every day. You can identify it, have an intention every day and say, this is my intention. This is what I commit to do today. Or you can get your iPhone or be able to capture it in your notes. If you need more support, I do have a journal that's literally called 1% Journal, and it's about 1% improvement. And in this journal, we actually talk about the daily check-ins, and we start looking at our gratitude. What are the things that we're grateful for? Because that's a part of your 1%. If we're moving through our days and can't find one reason of gratitude, chances are we're moving backwards 1% instead of moving forward 1%. So if you need additional structure, you need the additional support to really embody it, my journal is definitely a resource, but you don't need a journal to start the process. I really want people to start feeling optimistic in these very challenging times, because you can get more bad news than good news. Well, let me give you something different. You are the good news. 1% improvement, owning your goals, good seed, good soil, good pace, that is good news. What does it mean? It means your goals are achievable with consistency, right? And a slower pace. So once we start embodying that, you can start seeing and moving the needle forward towards your goals with just these simple things. And over time, you will start to see a change happening. And people who don't know you well or haven't seen you in a while will assume, oh, she woke up like that, or he woke up like that. No, you've quietly been putting the work in. That's where the secret is. And truth be told, if you've got good seed, you got to protect your good seed, because there are some people that don't mean well or who just don't understand. And your seed can get damaged in the process of trying to share it with too many people too fast, right? Your seed is like a newborn baby. It is delicate. You have to protect that good thing that you're trying to nurture along the way, right? So this is a new process for you in terms of committing at this stage of the game, right? We're approaching spring. We're in that season. Sometimes we kind of fizzle out by this time. But I'm here to tell you those 3 Gs, particularly that pacing, can get you moving in the right direction. That's ultimately what we want for you. So my goal is to, one, I'm an optimist by nature. I enjoy encouraging people. I've always been that since I was a kid. And I'm following a process that I'm actually advocating for. And I'm using this process with my clients. So this is some free coaching advice or recommendations that you can use to help you achieve what you really want to. Because if these goals have really been coming to you over time, several months, several years, and it would be this thing of, oh, it'd be great to be able to do that, or it'd be great to live like that, or I really want to go back to school, or that job, or I want a family, I want a partner, whatever that goal is that is so authentic to you, it deserves a planting season. If you don't plant these seeds, they will not grow. They don't happen on accident. You have to put some intention behind the things that you really, really want. And you don't have to make a big announcement. You don't have to tell everybody. You don't even have to go viral and say, this is what I'm doing, right? If this is something that is so delicate to you, you can do this quietly and consistently, and the proof will be in the pudding. You will see yourself evolve and see yourself change. So I'm here to tell you that I'm committing to the process. I have my own set of goals. Recording is something that I said I need to do more consistently. And that is my 1%. Continuing to do the things that I'm already doing behind the scenes, but being able to share that with other people so that they can move themselves forward. Not everybody can do a formal coaching package, right? And it's not about always selling something. Although it's good to have something to advocate for. I do advocate for my journal because it is for that person who needs a little bit more structure, who needs a little bit more support, and who needs to capture all of these ideas and this process in one place. Because sometimes part of our issue is that we're not organized, right? We have a goal and it's random. I don't want your success or your attempt for success to be random. It really needs to be structured. So if you structure it, your first step is writing it down on a piece of paper, right? Go for it. Just do it consistently. Again, if you need a little bit more support and you want to be a part of a community who is doing the exact same thing and finding successes, then join us, right? You can join us. 7 days of 1% improvement. 7 days, 1%. You can do one thing every day towards your goal. And once you start creating a formula and a process around that, you'll be growing more than 1%. You'll be growing 5, 10% on some days. But you can always fall back on the 1% and never knock your 1% of growth. That's so important. You take one step forward, do not diminish that 1%. It is important. It is valuable, just like you. You will find that a lot of things won't bother you the same way they used to when you're committing to 1% on yourself. 1%. Your voice matters, your progress matters, your success matters because you have the ability to encourage somebody else because they saw you do it. That's the process. That's planting season. You do this planting season, you'll have a whole harvest by the time we get to Q3 or AKA September. Right? You'll have so much to show for it. Even if your biggest reward is becoming more aware, more organized in your thoughts, more focused on yourself, decreasing your anxiety and burnout, having more faith in yourself and what your purpose is. What are you on this planet to do? If you can walk away by September and have that in place, you've done a lot. You can't control all things, but you can control a lot of what's happening inside you. And I'm here for it. This is what I love to do. This is my purpose. This is my attention. Anybody that knows me knows that, Nikki, you've always been this person. And I am committing, my 1% is to do more videos and come to you and share with you of what I'm sharing with my clients. And let me tell you, it works. And you can do this with your kids. You can do this with your friends. You don't have to be super grown. You can be in college. You can be in high school. This process works. It works for everybody. And if you don't believe me, watch your baby attempt to stand or attempt to walk. They fall, but they get back up and they have gradual successes. And then they continue to a point where they're actually walking and running. That's because babies were never told that you can't. And so in their minds, they just keep trying because that's all they know. And some of that we kind of forget ourselves, but I'm here to remind you. So this can be a fun journey. So join the journey, 7 days of 1%. I can do this. If you watch this video and you're thinking, I could do that. I can do 1%. Yes, absolutely you can. And I'm telling you, after you do this for 2-3 months, people will start to say something's different about you, right? Because you are enjoying your planting season. And that's a big part of it too. Enjoy clarifying your goals. Enjoy putting it in the ground in good soil and enjoy this pace. Be gentle with yourself. You don't have to stress yourself out in order to be successful. You don't. You just start loving. You start being and becoming all the things that you were meant to be in the first place. You start to just be. Your 1% becomes extremely natural. So I encourage you. So come back, join us for more. We have lots of things coming up this season and planting season. We're going to have workshops. We're going to have courses. We got the journal, of course. So find your place, even if you just have free 99 is your budget. That's okay, because what I'm telling you, you will start generating more revenue because you're so locked in on your goals. So if you got to start with free 99, it's okay. That's how committed I am to your success. Free 99 is always in the budget. So if you want to do a little bit more, you want to lock in, you need some help, get the journal. I'd love for you to have it. But again, if you got to start with a piece of paper and pen, if you've got to start with your smartphone, go for it. Just get started. 3 G's: good seed, good soil, good pace. I'll see you back here very soon.